If you spot wall hangings made of water hyacinth or lampshades made of bamboo from Northeast India while in Punjab or Puducherry, you are most likely looking at the handiwork of House of Locals. This Assam-based unique startup is catching a fair bit of attention. It is one of the 1 lakh new ventures that Startup India has helped create in just 7 years, following Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision. Earshot spoke to the founder of House of Locals, Swagata Gautam, in this special podcast edition.
House of Locals focuses on three things primarily. One is artisanal empowerment. We are a artisan-based community. So as much as the products are mine, it's also theirs. It's their effort and it's their hard work. Secondly, it's sustainability. We work with only sustainable and eco-friendly materials which have zero carbon footprint, and some of them are biodegradable. Some of them are actually waste materials which we utilized and we made them into products. And the third thing is product innovation. So since I'm a designer, this is how I want to contribute in terms of, because bamboo cane, whatever you see, the design is limited. So it's my way of making different designs and putting it out in the world, and the designs which I make, I want to compete with not only India, but eventually that's the whole plan of competing with making really nice design which can be featured in international magazines, which can compete with other product designs and stuff like that. So yeah, this is the whole primary concept. I do sell products. I will be launching my website, e-commerce website next month. Till now, we have been only selling through Instagram. Our Instagram handle is House of Locals, and we have a very good following there. But we thought that it's time now to invest in our website and make the process smoother. So yeah.
Swagata's ideals of artisanal empowerment and sustainability through her venture has come a long way since she started on her own as a one-man army. She has a vast clientele across India, but challenges persist.
I have been a lot of clients who like my work, and they've asked for something very, very different, or they have sometimes given me the design. So we make them and we give it to them. We've done up restaurants in Punjab and Amritsar and given a lot of lights to Bangalore. So we ship pan India anyway. So that is there. Secondly, in terms of finding the artisans, I think that is something I'm still struggling with, because it's an ongoing process. It's not at all easy. It took me 1 year to find and trust the artisans which I'm working with right now. I have a range of 30 to 40 artisans at the moment, but they're also not permanent. So sometimes they might not be available because I have not hired all of them, or they don't work completely directly under me. But these are people I trust, and I know that, they will deliver on time, because with artisans, it's that these are all people who I have found from interiors of Himachal or Tripura or Assam. So it's not it's not a job for them that you ask them, demand them that this is, and it's handicrafts at the end. So it's not like they can give the product immediately whenever you ask them. There are a lot of faults, and working in Northeast is not very easy per se. So that's there. There are a lot of difficulties working with artisans in that sector. But yeah, it's always an ongoing process. As an entrepreneur, I am somebody who always wants to get a lot of people involved. So that process is always on. I keep looking for artisans, anyone who's doing something interesting and they would want to work with me, where I can, they are okay with me giving them the design. So that is always welcome. And so yeah, that's it. But yeah, it's a very, very vast process. You have to go down, and sometimes it's like you don't even calling them and showing them on WhatsApp or something, that will also not work. So you have to travel, you have to stay with them. Sometimes you have to develop the designs by yourself. So now, because I still have a very small team working with, so initially for the first 2 years I worked alone by myself. So I had to go and train them and do everything. So once all of that was done, that's when I launched my product line. And yeah.
While others may have their mindset on starting a business and grow it eventually, Swagata's journey differs.
Initially, I did not want to start off as a brand. I wanted to, because I don't know what is the imposter syndrome or everything. I did not think that I was capable enough to do something this big, what I'm doing right now. So that's why I started off with projects to see my capability as a person at first, doing projects. Then I did my research on the artisans and materials and developed designs. And then when I was very confident that, my inventory is set, my packaging materials are set, that is when I launched that is when I registered my company and I started selling my products. And initial 6 months, we did a revenue of 19 lakhs, which is quite good for like the first 6 months, because I got a lot of B2B orders. I got bulk orders, like some space designing. I did skill development workshops, and also the normal selling only through Instagram. D2C was only going through Instagram. So that was going pretty well. And that was sort of like a trial period for me. And I had no one. I was completely doing everything alone, from the designing, packaging, marketing, selling, photography also is done by me. So that after the 6 months, I was completely exhausted, and I was like, I cannot continue doing this alone for sure. And so that's when I realized that to build a company, it's not something you can do it alone. You need a team, you need like an assembly line of things which happens. And if I still continued doing what I was doing, I would have done it. Like, obviously I would have grown, but it would have been, I would have first exhausted myself, and then it would have just been limited. I wouldn't have time to like actually design and stuff. So that is when I decided to like take a break, get some money, like, flowing through projects again. And now I have started hiring people. I'm looking for people actually who will be a permanent like employees currently. And then, then that's when the website will be launched, because all of that D2C process, it's a lot of hassle. I need like a proper team who I train. And then, so I'm currently I have 2 interns, and other people are on contract basis, but I'm looking to involve more people. So it took me 2 years to realize that, working alone will not take me anywhere. So now I'm hiring people.
When Swagata registered her company, there was one more thing that made all the difference: Startup India.
When I registered my company in 2021, it was under the startup. I registered as an MSME also. Then I got the DPIIT registration. And then I realized that this is it's a different ball game altogether about startup. And I got registered. I started like using the portal, and then I realized that there is so much the government is actually doing for us. Every day you get mails about, there are these kind of schemes, there are these, even if it's not about just the money part, it's not about the schemes or where you can apply, but it's also about webinars which are happening. There are talks which are happening. There are so many people out there who are ready to help you, which initially when in 2019, when I wanted to do something, I was completely blank, because you can't just go out there and ask for a mentor but here you can speak to, and it's just the sector is so vast that it's not just handicrafts, it's agriculture, it's tech, it's hospitality, there's education, there's so much, and there's something or the other for everyone. So every day you get a mail regarding this, that, you can do a webinar here, just learn about marketing. There's someone or the other helping you out. And recently, last year around December, I got selected for the Assam cohort, the cohort which keeps happening. And that has completely like helped me a lot, because suddenly, as a person who has been working alone, who obviously I was working alone also because I did not have that kind of finance to hire a lot of people. Now I do, but then at that point I did not have. But also, other than that, you kind of, most of the times as an entrepreneur, you need a mentor. You need someone who can just guide you or just talk to you about, like, if I made this decision, am I doing the right thing or not? So in that way, the cohort has been so helpful. Because you're getting mentorship regarding the kind of marketing I need to do, even like the kind of branding. I know, I mean, House of Locals has been running for 2 years, but what is the design philosophy, things like that, like very small things which will be very beneficial for the later stages. So all of that.
Besides the mentorship and handheld support, the regular networking events held by Startup India have also been very motivational for Swagata.
We have a lot of these startup meetings where networking events, which I think are very useful, because once you meet people who are having the same struggles as you are, or just knowing that, they are also doing the same, it's so very motivational to know that. So yeah, it's been very helpful. And that's why I always recommend people that if you're starting something on your own, there is a lot of help the government is giving. And so we should utilize that. And currently the startup industry is also growing so much in India. India is trying to be the manufacturing hub. So in that way, we are at the right stage, and we will obviously get a lot of help if we look out for. So yeah, it's been quite, I'm very glad that I got a part, like I took part in this, I am a part of Startup India, because without it, I think I would have been completely lost.
Swagata considers herself as an entrepreneur, not a woman entrepreneur like others would typically point out. But she celebrates the fact that more and more women have been taking the entrepreneurial route.
I have been asked this question a lot about how is it being a woman founder or working in the startup as a woman and things like that. But for me, I mean, I am an entrepreneur. I don't consider myself as a woman entrepreneur, a woman founder as such. I haven't faced any problems or things like that as such. It's always been encouraging for me. So that is not something I think I've been had any problems with. In fact, like for the past 2 years, I am right. Currently, I'm 28, and when I started, I was 24, 25, I think. And then that time I did not see a lot of women in the field, in the startup meetings. There were quite less actually. I was the one, maybe like among 2 or 3 people in a room full of 30 men maybe. So it was like that. But now what I've seen is that in the past 1 year especially, and since COVID happened, there have been so many women who have, I think, realized their potential and bringing up things and everyone is sort of, what I've noticed, at least in Northeast, it's that they've been working towards something sustainable. Because recently I attended this one seminar hosted by Northeast Development Sector, where most of the population was women. They were either doing mushroom cultivation, they were into agriculture, they were into some educational sector or handicrafts or something or the other. And it was so inspiring for me. And these people came from like these interior parts of the country, from Meghalaya, from Sikkim, and they were doing so well, even if like for them to come out of the state and be like talking about their startup. So that was quite nice. So I've seen a lot of change. Definitely there's a long way to go. But I think during COVID, I feel like a lot of things change. People, I think women realized that they can also like sit at home and do something or research other than what they are doing. So yeah, I think there was a lot of things coming up, and women generally are very good multitaskers. So I believe like there should be more and more women, because I think they will do a great job if they do something like that, like get into the sector for sure.
House of Locals aspires to become a global name and showcase rich Indian handicrafts to the world. Swagata is already making things happen. Her aesthetic and sustainable products speak for themselves. And this is what Swagata has to say to those who dream of starting their own businesses.
So recently I did a talk with a few kids in Bangalore, and they were in class 7, I think class 6 and 7. And the questions they were throwing at me about the startup, and they were like, my prototype is ready, and where should I take it and all of that. And I was like, wait, you're in school. You're still in school. You're not even in high school. But it's really interesting how the things are happening now, because when I was in college, I did not even think about like getting into the startup world. I was like, yeah, I'll look for a job first, because that's the number one way to learn. Which was, yes, you should definitely, I would suggest that before you start something of your own, you should definitely work in that sector somewhere under somebody. It can be somebody you hate, but then you should definitely work, because you will know how a company functions. And it's very important to understand punctuality, like to have a discipline. So I feel like it's very important to first work in a job before you start something on your own. Secondly, if it's a very brilliant idea and you have 200% confidence that yes, this is going to work, then definitely try asking for help and do not like shy away from anything. That is one thing. I think I landed my first project through House of Locals just because I randomly mailed these event organizers from Arunachal Pradesh, and they were like, sure, you can, like, try and help. So that was my take, because I just wanted to like do it so badly that I just mailed them that yes, I want to do it. There is nothing. I think you need to just ask and go out there and just present it that this is what you have done. Try to look for mentors who can guide you the right way. But at the end, it's that you have to be very, very crazy about your idea, about your thought, and you have to definitely keep at it, because there will be definitely a lot of struggles. We might have COVID again, or you might not have like any medium to like do anything for a few months. But then if you keep at it still and be stuck on it, or think of ways you can like monetize the other things, maybe in other ways, then definitely you can go about. But yeah, the idea is to be at it for long and not. So the slogan by Nike is just do it. It's the same thing. It's like you have to just go and do it. You have to just present yourself. You have to just do it and not think about it so much.
You were listening to the story of House of Locals only on Earshot.